There is Kahlua in this, just so everyone knows.
I was wondering if it was just straight or what.
No. And this is my second cup, too.
Oh, second half of Changeling is going to be fun.
Right?
The stairs and banisters are solid oak. The doors are inlaid with mahogany.
What does it take to maintain a house of this size?
Whether you buy or rent the Chessman house, whatever you do,
John?
don't go into the attic. The Changeling, rated R.
Just wait. Hold on. Why is that fucking R-rated?
I wondered the same thing.
That's PG all the way.
Yeah. I didn't recognize the director of this. I don't know what else he's done.
Director Peter Medak. Oh, he directed Species 2.
Oh, not the first one. 2.
Yes.
Oof.
And he played Man at Corner in Beverly Hills Cop 3.
That's a bizarre career.
Yeah.
He's directed some other things too, but I mean, The Craze.
First, right after.
Well, on a first glance, what does everyone give this can-wise?
I like it. I'd give it 4 because I like it.
Wow.
I do. I think it's a solid movie.
Jamie, where are you going with this?
I want to watch the special features on it.
Make you like the movie more?
Might appreciate some things that they might have done.
The special features on this Blu-ray are pretty good.
There's a shitload of them.
Yeah.
Right now I'm on like between 2 and 2.5.
Yeah, I think I'm hovering in that area too. It's not a bad movie.
Exactly. No,
At all. Not even close to being like a shitty movie.
No.
But does it really succeed? I don't think so. If that came out at the time, I'd be like, holy shit, George C. Scott in a haunted house movie, it's gonna be fucking awesome. And I'd sit there in the theater and be like, fuck this thing. Maybe not that harsh, but I just don't think it paid off. I'm not a huge fan of this movie, but I'll say there's so many movies that owe massive debts to this.
Oh yeah.
Would you say your biggest? I don't know if criticism's the right word, but yeah, I mean, what's the thing that turns you off on this movie?
I guess I'm not one for the all atmosphere haunting type stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, if this was 1955, that'd be one thing.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think? What do you think of like The Haunting? What do you think of like that movie?
It's all right, but it's okay. I mean, I like it, but like in the era of like Poltergeist, I'm like, it's not gonna cut it anymore.
I got you.
Or it just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, it's a matter of taste. I get it.
Right.
Yeah, post Exorcist, post Poltergeist, when you see just like, oh, there's scary noises, I'm like, okay.
Right, but and I guess that's the question. Do you know are you being too harsh because you're expecting it to be something that it's not? You know, because I don't feel like I'm let down if this movie weren't classified as a horror movie.
Is it a haunted house movie or is it old bastard senator murdered someone movie?
Right, or both.
And if it's both, the second portion of that, I really don't care. Oh, great, he drowned his kid in 1909. That's not a movie.
All right. What fast is?
There's Jamie's review right there.
What fast? Why is this such a big cult movie? Why is it loved so much? Because I guess I missed it. I don't get it because it's very ho hum to me.
No.
So I'm that's why I want to watch the special features because I watched that Eli Roth's 100 Years of Horror or whatever.
Right.
And when they went into ghost movies, like Amityville Horror was barely even touched, but they really centered on the Changeling.
Perhaps the greatest ghost mystery movie of all time is The Changeling. It's not as famous as The Shining or Poltergeist, but it deserves to be.
And people were saying, "Oh, it's terrifying, it's horror." It's like that part when the ball goes down the stairs. I'm like,
I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I think maybe it's people reaching a bit and trying to be a bit more cerebral. I'm not just about the gore and the shock. I'm about the atmosphere and the build. So in hindsight, I mean, there is a decent pedigree a bit around it. It's well done. But I think it's probably this post cult is a bit overrated.
It's the first movie that made a bouncing ball absolutely terrifying.
Even as someone who really likes this movie, I actually would have to disagree with that pretty greatly, because I don't think there's anything really frightening about this movie.
Right.
I think there's general there's really good scenes of where things are a little tense and a little creepy. You know, like when he's hearing the kid's voice on the recording, it's like, that's creepy. You know, that's a little creepy.
What is your name?
Yeah.
But again, I do think it inspired a lot of people to do a lot of other things and borrow / rip off a lot of things of it, because I think maybe if you saw this when you were like 10 years old, you'd probably shit your pants.
Right. And I think you might have you'd like it more for nostalgia reasons, probably, if you saw it at a young age and it made such a big impact on you.
Yeah, it's creepy. There's kids in peril. There's slamming doors and like ghosty stuff, which ghosts as a kid's always like, you're thinking, you know,
it's
Fear of the Dark type stuff.
But Jim made a good point with the haunting, and because the haunting is similar, but with the haunting, you didn't have this subplot about a murder mystery stayed in the house and it's a pure ghost story. That movie is scary as fuck, I think, and it works. Where this just doesn't work for me. And I think also part of it for me is that George C. Scott is the star of the movie, but there's no other side characters where you think, oh, that guy could get killed or she's going to get killed. And you know George C. Scott's not going to get killed. And if he does, he's going to get at the very, very end.
Which I didn't think he needed to get killed. I don't know if people get killed, but I think he needed to be more tormented by his dead family.
Right, yeah, he wasn't as much.
Because like I think the movie like really builds to something inside the house. And he's like, I've done everything you want.
What do you want from me? I've done everything I can do.
Right.
Inside the house, and then as soon as it goes to like the tarmac and the plane, it instantly sabotages itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's definitely a very significant shift at that point from more ghost story to just your murder mystery, and it's even less of a murder mystery. It's like by that point we even kind of know what it is. We're just waiting for the characters to kind of align with one another and everyone to come to a head, right? We're waiting for that final confrontation with George C. Scott and the senator.
No, I agree. I think if it stuck with a very human type of guilt and coming to terms with death of people that you know very well inside that house, I think it would have been so much better.
Right. And you're right. I think they do completely abandon the notion of George C. Scott's torment. Like his character never actually has any sort of reconciliation with that. You
have an actor that does angst extremely well in personal torment, and they just like, oh no, instead you're gonna be like Judy Blume or like Hardy Boy. Like, really? That's how you're gonna use George C. Scott when his son and his wife get just smeared into snow in the first 5 minutes.
Which is interesting that there isn't much about his family in this. I mean, yes, you have the ball going down the stairs, but it doesn't seem like it focused about him and the loss of his family as much as this mystery.
This part is actually my biggest criticism of this movie. It's like all of a sudden the entity has the ability to
Yeah.
be more of a poltergeist,
Right.
you know, to exact. And so I actually don't like this part of the movie. I like it better when it's more of just like small little things going on where it's like, please help me, please get the information. And at this moment, all that shit's kind of thrown out because all of a sudden the ghost can flip a car and kill the chief of police.
Like, well, why didn't you just do that when you first got killed?
I mean, why not do that to the senator?
Right. Make his plane fall away, or fall down.
Right.
Yeah, this movie lost focus, and I think it was to its detriment.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it would be a lot better if there was some sort of reckoning where and clearly they're trying to do that, but you needed George C. Scott's kind of emotional turmoil and his angst with regard to his family to almost burn down to the ground, emotionally. Absolutely. the way the house burns down to the ground.
Right.
And that's I think like if it's a
cleansing, movie, and it's like you don't ever get that cleansing for him as a character.
You need to get over it as part of the grieving process, and ghost stories are the perfect time to do that, and they don't fucking do it.
Right.
And I think and that's what gets me mad more is like movies that are bad. Okay, that sucked. I can move on. But movies that had the potential to do something really well and squander it bothers me more.
Yeah.
Because I think this movie really could have been a lot better with a couple different decisions. And it's not one of those I think you could remake either. I think tried it, they botched it, that's it. Don't try and remake it or redo it. And I think a lot of movies do try and recapture a little bit of this and just kind of come off as like copies.
Right.
And don't get any better.
Did you want to talk briefly about the
pussy?
No, not the pussy. No. The real change marks, the cigarette burns.
Is that
that was a real change.
Yeah, I was going to say, did I just see that?
It was huge too.
Yeah, I'm shocked they didn't get rid of that.
And the fact that so Severin claims on their website that it's a 4K master from, what did I say it was?
Inner positives or something?
Like inner positive elements.
Oh, there goes one can right out the window.
No, it makes it more authentic. More movies need cigarette burns.
Oh, it's
shocked at that.
It's a grindhouse feel.
We got some scraps of film and we put them together and we scanned it all in 4K. So I hope you like it. 4K. It's 4K, yo.
So, I mean, yeah, you can scan 4K a piece of shit, right?
Right.
Doesn't mean it's, like, going to be good. 4K scan of 8mm reel. You know what? It's unfortunate that, like, they can probably get away with it because it probably, I'm assuming, does look really nice.
It does. I mean, admittedly, the Blu-ray looks a lot better than it ever did.
But at the same time, like, if you bought a Criterion disc and saw cigarette burns, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's
that's an easy thing to get rid of, too. That's like an easy one. So that should not be on there. It wasn't on there just once. It was on there twice.
Yeah, it was on there a couple times. So it's like, you know what, it looks great, but it's got those things. So how much do you ding it if the rest of the movie looks amazing? compared to any other release besides theatrical at this point.
Right.
I mean, you got to ding it, but it's like you can't shit on it too much because apparently it looks great.
Right. Well, and it's like, compared to what, right? Compared to the VHS. Well, compared to the VHS, it looks great, right? Compared to, like
The
you
DVD.
said, yeah, and compared to like a Criterion collection, well, no, then it's gonna disappoint, because it's gonna have scratches and blemishes and these other things, where someone may have taken some of these other movies and made them perfect, right? So I guess it's all a matter of degree, like what you're comparing it to.
And who put this out again? Sorry.
Severin.
Severin. I mean, if they wanted to go nuts, they could have taken those few frames and like tried to like, CGI it out by like blending the background of the previous frames and do like crazy shit. But
Right.
apparently they're like, no, we're just gonna scan it. We're gonna put it out.
Right.
Which is fair because if you fuck around too much with it, like let's go and digitally erase
Blu-ray or French Connection.
Yeah, and like, well, that's a bit excessive. Friedkin can't help himself but fuck around. But like, if you go in and you not restore but edit out defects, I can see arguing against that. Like, hey, it's in the film, leave it alone. That's how it looks.
Right.
Not that cigarette burns are like that, but other things. Because I noticed a couple white noise type things in some of the
speckles and stuff like that.
Speckles. Which, hey, if that was in the film grain, that's what it is. Final review, final rating for everybody before we log off.
You're going 2. I'm probably gonna go. Oof. I'm like right in that. I don't know if 2 or 2.5. Oh, I gotta really think about.
I'm thinking you're at least 3 or higher.
Yeah, I started out pretty strong, and then after our discussion, I think in terms of, filmmaking skill, atmosphere, technical, acuity, the really solid, but they couldn't tie it together with George C. Scott's family and sort of bring that whole emotional thread to its sort of pinnacle, to its peak. And so after that discussion, I think it brings me down to about a 3.5 for the movie. I still think it's really strong. It's creepy. It's not frightening. It's really good atmospheric, and I like the characters and I like the story. But there's a few threads there that don't quite tie up, that could have been better. So 3.5.
I'm gonna go 2.5.
I'm going 2, and I'm happy that I can drag down the scores. I think that's good.
Uh-oh. Who is that?
That's the ice maker.
Oh, that was at your house?
Yeah.
What fast is...
There's Jamie's review right there.
What fast...
Ugh, it smells like Trashmen media around here.